Hello everyone, and welcome to Kingsclear. I'm Tessa, I'm racing manager here for Andrew Balding. I'm going to be showing you around this week. I'm just currently at our indoor ride or indoor school, and here we've got second lot are just in here, just ready to warm up. We've got over 200 horses here on site, and they get exercised in 5 sets, which we call lots. So this is the second of the 5 lots, and the horses just all come in here to start with at the start of every lot. The riders take the horses' temperatures when they're tacking up and then report them to Nigel or one of the pupils as they come in, just so that we can check that the horses are healthy and well and not carrying any infection or issue that we're not aware of. Once Andrew is here, the horses will trot. They'll trot 6 circuits, and it's about a furlong round, and that's just to check that the horses are moving as they normally would, moving well, not coughing, that the riders are happy, tack's all right, etc. And then Andrew will give the instructions for the day's exercise. I've actually got to go back into the office and do some work, but I've prepared a little video which shows you what routine exercise involves, and I'll put that up next. Bye-bye.
They've been to see her, like, just to go there. Yeah.
So I just thought I'd talk to you a bit about race planning, which is a major part of my role here at Kingsclear. That basically starts with the programme book, which is produced by the BHA 3 times a year, and that details all the meetings that the BHA are intending to run during the year and all the races that they're intending to have at those meetings. It's also produced online on the BHA's Racing Administration site, so you can look up all the details online. I use the online system. Andrew's more of a book person. And then from the programme book, you go to the racing calendar, which is produced every week by the BHA and covers a 2-week period of racing. There's some minor doodling by the trainer there, that could have been a lot worse. So basically you have all the flat meetings for the 2-week period in the front of the calendar, all the National Hunt Jump meetings at the back. Most races entries close 5 days before the race, but there are, for some big races and foreign races, they close early, and so those appear at the front of the calendar, and you just need to be aware of those. Andrew and I have regular race planning meetings where we go through every horse in the yard and discuss what our plans are for that horse. We've just this year started using a system called Smart Planner, which is really helpful. Basically, I run a spreadsheet at the back of this system which has details of every horse in training, their age, their gender, what distance they're running over, whether they're ready to run, etc. And Smart Planner puts in and automatically updates their handicap marks, and then I can just select any of the horses in the yard, and the system will bring up all the races that they're eligible to run in coming up, so we can go through those. And then once we've decided on any particular targets for a horse, we will write them into the calendar, as you can see Andrew's done here. And then I will also produce a spreadsheet. I do one by horse and one by date for the guys in the yard, so for the head lads, assistant trainer, farrier, etc., so they know what's coming up. In addition to horses where we've got particular targets, there will be some horses where we want to keep all the options open, just enter them in races that they're eligible for, and then look at the opposition and see which we think is the best option. And so what I do just before the races close each day is I go through, so for example, we're on a Monday, so we've got races closing for Saturday and Sunday today. And I basically just, using Smart Planner, which also allows you to search by closing date, so this is bringing out all the Saturday and Sunday meetings, and I can click on any meeting. So for example, this 1.5 mile handicap at Thirsk on Sunday, Smart Planner will automatically bring up all the horses in training ready to run that are eligible for that race, and I then just go through the calendars and put on these stickers just with any horses that Andrew hasn't already written in that could potentially be eligible and running in those races. He'll then go through these stickers, and if he likes any of my suggestions, he'll write them in the calendar. And then at the last thing before the entries are made, he goes through them all and he ticks the entries that he wants made. So, for example, Newcastle, or let's have a look at Goodwood. On Wednesday, he'll have ticked any races that he wants the entries made, and then Lindy or Becky in the office, once they've made the entry, they put the entry code here in red, so A, we know the entry's been made, and also we can easily cross-reference it should there be any confusion or anything later. Lindy then produces an entries list which gets put on various WhatsApp groups, emailed to various people, and also goes up on the notice board in the tack room, so the guys know when their horses are likely to be running. And I then also work out who's going to take these horses racing. And if you've got a horse where the groom's on holiday or they have two runners at different meetings, then I'll go and find someone to take what's known as a spare lead up, so to take the horse on that day.
She basically came to me and said that she'd like to just brush up on a few skills and just basically learn to push and become a bit tidier. So that's what we're working on here.
Very good. She doesn't have to push alcohol for you very much, so you use the practice.
She just get much pushing.
I know, that's true.
Very good. Okay, so to work on pushing, you basically, so imagine you're joining up.
Yeah.
And you're just going to start by just lowering your body and squeezing it, basically squeezing the horse up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to go from travelling really well to straight off and bridle pushing, because they're just, especially inexperienced women, just go, just fall on their heads. So I'm going to just get your knees out and start to lower your body. That's it.
Yeah, so this is the bit that works, because I end up going like the wrong way, if you know what I mean, rather than back.
Okay, yeah, so you want to try and just, by pushing your knees out, you'll keep your weight a bit further back, rather than, the moment you bring them in, you'll just end up going forwards.
Yeah, I get
You just, pushing them out, and just start to lower your body. Good. So you want to be, at this point, as you're running, you want to be squeezing with your calves and just getting them into the bridle. And then as they start to come off it, that's fine, that's perfect, that's good. As they start to come off it, then you can have a bit of change the hands. And you want to be aiming to push up the neck rather than down on it. So you're pushing up, forward. You want to, when you're pushing this, aim to be getting your hands up to here. So when the head's going down, your hands are going forwards. And as it comes, as the head's going back up, your hands are very easy to grab your shoulder and just up to go. And you, that way you can't get your shoulders behind and push properly. That's really good, Cassidy.
So this is the oldest part of the yard, which was built in the 1880s by John Porter. Well, he designed it. I don't suppose he actually built it himself because he was too busy training multiple Triple Crown and Derby winners. All of the yards and the gallops at Kingsclear are named after famous horses who've been trained here. So I'm just heading into the Flying Fox yard, which houses all 2-year-old fillies. So there are lots of potentially very good fillies in this yard, we hope, but the best of them, at least at the moment, is little Sondrine, who won the Albany Stakes at Royal Ascot this year. Let's see if she wants to come and say hi. So these old yards where the stables are back behind walls in a passageway are quite difficult to work in, but they do stay nice and warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and we've brightened them up with these Equilume stable lights, which also help the horses keep their coats and stay healthy. So this is the Ormond Yard, named after another Triple Crown winner. This houses all colts and geldings, one line of 2-year-olds, the rest of them older horses. And here is Youth Spirit, who lives in the line of stables we call the Big Six. He won the Chester Vase this year. What a good lad. Good boy. So I'm just walking past the lads' hostel. I'll maybe show you in there another time. Down what we call a straight mile, even though it's nowhere near a mile in length, On the right is the Millreef Yard, which houses 2-year-old colts, and on the left is the Selkirk Yard, which houses 2-year-old fillies. So here's Millreef, just keeping a close eye on all these young hooligans who inhabit his yard. And here's Berkshire Shadow, who's prepared for the vintage stakes tomorrow by having a good roll. So at the far end of the yard is the indoor ride, and then we have 4 American barns. These 2 that you can see here, and then 2 behind, all of which house 24 horses. So these are the further 2 barns right at the back of the yard, and as you can see there's also a horse walker here, which is easier for them to access than the 2 in the middle of the yard. There's a walking ring between the 2 barns here and a set of washdown bays. So these 2 barns at the end are a slightly different configuration to the front 2, in that they have a 1-bedroom flat on the end, which is great for security and means that people will hear if a horse gets cast in the night and things like that. I'm just walking past the washdown bays here, and this is the exit of the indoor ride at the far end. So this is where the horses come out every morning and they meet Andrew. The riders get their instructions and they head out through that gap in front of me out to the gallops. Banners.